folks, to a bonus episode of Chippa Chap Chap.
Chippa Chap Chap.
Chippa Chap Chap. This episode, we will be, it's... How long has it been since it actually was released, Royce?
Since the movie was released?
Yeah, the movie.
Man. It was last February or something?
So, well, over a year.
Almost a year.
Almost a year since the release of the reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is our, belated review of it.
Our much
belated. But, it's kind of good because we've had time now to really watch it several times and really think about it.
Really soak that in.
Yeah, we're deep in it now.
Yeah, now all the hype and hate is gone. Apparently that shit came out in August. I take it back. So it's been like half a year.
Yeah, it's been only half a year.
Yeah, man. All right. So I'll let you do the honor so you can start us off.
All right, so we're basically going to be talking different points of, of what we liked and what we didn't like of the film, and going through various things. First thing I'm going to talk about is the story.
The amazing story.
The amazing story that we saw in the movies.
All right, so why don't you try and give us a quick, 3-minute plot synopsis?
Plot synopsis. Wow, okay. Unprepared.
You'll edit that part out.
No, not at all. Everything's stuck. This is like one of those uncut episode things. And then again, so far all of our episodes so far have been uncut, so it's been really good.
Basically live, guys.
Pretend. Yeah, this is how we talk. Basic plot synopsis. Should I basically go through the whole story?
Just the quick version. Give us the skim of it.
All right. We see April. She's a reporter. She's doing whatever jobs.
Bullshit stories.
Yeah, bullshit
Filler
stories. Filler stories. She there's a vigilante thing going on in their city, and she wants to try and research that, but obviously she has to do it behind the boss's back and whatnot because that's not what she's paid to do.
Right.
She goes to the pier. What is it called?
This story's already fucking falling apart for me.
Because it's garbage.
Yeah.
I rewatched it again yesterday, and I basically told you I wrote down points of what happened. And as I was writing it down, I'm like, wow.
Here, real quick, let me give you what IMDb has listed as their
please,
quick synopsis.
Oh.
It simply says,
yes.
When a kingpin threatens New York City, a group of mutated turtle warriors must emerge from the shadows to protect their home. That is the,
I promise you.
3 lines.
I promise you. That is, the best aspect of that film.
Now...
That's not the film, though. I swear it's not.
There was this setup. Just, if it's that simple, dude, that sounds like it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's just when they start trying to fill in the blanks for everything that it starts to fall apart. Okay, so continue. She's trying to research these vigilantes that are stopping what is given to us in the opening animation, I guess you'd call it. Yeah, they tell us that the Shredder is bad guy.
Yeah, we have a stylized introduction illustration type thing, which looks quite good.
Right, but they're telling us, not showing us.
They're telling us this is currently happening in the city. They show, illustrations of the turtles.
It's so silly.
We see April, doing her shit. We see other characters in the newsroom, like Vernon, who's useless. I don't like him. Then we follow April as she goes to the dock areas. A pier, I don't know what it's called in America.
Right, pier.
The pier, and
they call them docks there.
Docklands, just docks.
Docklands. Yeah. Okay, the docks.
The docks. And then we see I guess they're hooded. I guess they're the Foot.
Right, they're military.
They're military.
They're SWAT guys.
SWAT dudes, guerrillas, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
Military, yeah. But then, you see the containers being thrown around. So, yeah, I guess it's one of the turtles. It's Raph. I'm just gonna
Right.
fucking, we're just gonna spoil shit. Who gives a shit, right? It's Raph throwing it. So at this point, we realize they're ridiculously strong.
Right, these aren't the same.
Those shipping
turtles that we
trailers,
grew
yes.
up on.
Yeah, shipping containers. They're throwing.
Uh-huh.
We see Shredder out of his costume, the Japanese Shredder. He's a fucking tall cunt.
He's really big.
He's a really tall dude. Then we're introduced to Eric Sachs.
Eric Sachs, the Anglo name or version of the name Arukusaki.
Yeah, yeah.
Shredder.
He's
So
like,
you can tell some of the story stuff they kept because they're like, well, it's too late now. Because okay, guys, I gotta say, dude, they clearly changed tons of stuff.
oh yeah.
Clearly changed tons of stuff, and the inclusion of a Japanese version of the Shredder being one of the biggest and most obvious
Yeah,
afterthoughts.
that was after the fact. I really do wish, like, this is what we got. Obviously, I really do wish they stuck with what they originally intended, just so that we can see what it was that they were trying to do, because it could have been better than this.
Right.
Like, for all we know, don't get me wrong. Like, I know there was mass amount of hate, geared towards what they had seen already. When people were finding out, oh, there's no Japanese Shredder, blah, blah, blah. But because of that, it's almost like the creators are like, oh, shit, we really need to fix this.
Right. They panicked and rewrote everything, and now they did it to appease fans, and I get that. I fully get that. But there's such a chance that without them trying to like replace bits of story and fill in blanks where there weren't anything, that we could have gotten like a more cohesive story, even if it wasn't the story that we wanted.
Absolutely.
Maybe it would have been a better movie, even though it wouldn't have been a better Ninja Turtles.
Exactly. But the thing is, again, it's just another interpretation of the Turtles. Not one that we might have wanted. Like, clearly we want ones where they're actually ninjas.
Right.
Where they're stealth ninjas doing ninja things.
Yeah.
Not giant monsters fucking punching cars and shit.
Fully.
Like, as you described it before, baby Hulks.
Right.
We don't need 4 Hulks. Because that's what they were, essentially.
Yeah, they're punching through cars and throwing ship containers.
Yeah. Sliding down mountains.
These turtles have no need to be ninjas.
No.
And we didn't even get through the full plot, but basically...
Yeah. We'll get to it.
The turtles are created by April's father, and this leads her to have been integral to the plot of the turtles being created, which has never been the case before, at least not that I'm aware.
No, well, unless of course it was something that was added later down in the comics, but I'm very
But even still, like to have her be the one who named them and her be the one that fed them pizza,
also,
which is like saying why they like pizza later.
How they were obviously we finally hear the turtles 16 minutes in, and then we see them 20 minutes in, clearly. 20 minutes of the film, we finally see the title characters. But once they started saying their names, then she realized, flashback in her head, she got like a fucking idea. She goes back to her place, finds these files.
Yeah.
Her dad's files.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh yeah, these were the turtles. Good job.
Give me this, dude. Give me this. As a person who's now watched several of these remakes, and when they try and do like the Turtles did, where they try and make it their own thing, and they're like, yeah, man, why would you want to see the same stuff? We're going to give you something new. This is our take on it, and yada yada, and that's cool. That's cool. But for me,
as a fan of the source material,
as a fan of like, let's say the original '92 Turtles,
yes, it's a '92.
Wouldn't it be cool for some of these reboots or whatever to kind of basically give us the movie that we got before, try and make it the same tone? Don't just do a shot-for-shot remake for sure, but tell a modernized version of the story just with modern technology, get wedded to do it like they did, but still make them like 5'4", like still make them
the turtles that we know. And grew up with?
Yeah, find a canister of ooze that makes it, but just update what all that shit looks like in ways that we couldn't have done before. They could even still do the CG. The CG to me looked fine. Mm. It's just, why did they need to be 6 foot and up and be like, I don't know, like super
baby Hulks,
player.
Dude.
Yeah, they're just huge, massive things, and it really felt like their attempt to be like, we need to compete with guys like the Avengers, and they need to exist in that same space where the Avengers and Superman live. So if they were ever going to join up, per se, like, not that they had plans to ever make that happen, but if they were going to coexist in the same universe, these guys have to be able to do something. Yeah. And it seemed like they just bit onto that, and they were like, do that no matter what. And, there was Michael Bay attachment to it, clearly. He was a producer or whatever, but it does seem like they were like, make Transformers, man, but make the Ninja Turtles Transformers.
Make Ninja Transformers.
Because it's clear, at least, and still somewhat in this version of the movie, you can tell there was reshoots to change this, but April was going to be the focus.
Yes.
She was going to be our Sam Witwicky of this movie.
Yep.
That's why she's the one that fucking saved the turtles and created them.
I still don't understand why they need to do that in films.
I don't know, but
introduce people to these characters with an outside character. Why can't you just actually focus and make the lead character the actual character?
Yeah,
be the main instead. Like, let's follow the turtles.
You know what I think? I think that the first movie did it so much better is because all their beginning exposition was just showing actual examples of what the Foot Clan are doing.
Yes.
It's April giving a newscast, so it established that she's a reporter instantly. Mm-hmm. It shows her telling what the Foot Clan are doing and showing them do it. So it's them stealing from people and fucking taking people's TVs while they're watching it and shit.
I mean, sure, it was clowning, but we got to see the Foot Clan do what the Foot Clan
establishes it.
Yeah, better. Exactly.
And I think that once they got that stuff out of the way, they instantly show April is somebody that's being mugged. Mm-hmm. So it's the turtles instantly getting to fight, and it's similar to you can tell they try to do homages. It's similar to that scene of them fighting the Foot Clan where they don't actually show them.
Yeah, the actual subway scene.
Right. It's similar to that where you get to see them fight or whatever, but it's only in the shadows, like the shipping container thing and the subway scene.
Yep.
But then, rather than the scene that they give us where April follows them and then they have a weird conversation with April where you're not getting to see the real turtles, you're seeing their intimidating presence of here's the reveal of how fucking massive they are. Instead of that, in the 92 one, they save April and then you immediately see just the turtles walking in the sewer and talking about what they just did, which is similar to what they gave us in the reboot, but it's not the same because they focused it on how April reacts to them.
Exactly. Rather
Instead
than
of showing their actual personalities, just them interacting with each other and them being super stoked, oh, did you see us? We fucking kicked them in the face. That is tubular and excellent, or whatever.
We kicked their ass,
Right, they established their personalities with each other first. That was the priority. And in this movie, April's always the priority.
That's the difference.
To me,
the focus here was April.
And it was going to be even more than it already was.
Oh, I can't. I'm so...
And that's crazy. To give her the whole through line of that she created the turtles. She saves she saves Splinter in the fight where the Shredder first shows up.
I want to skip to the very end.
Shredder out at the end.
She's the one that kicks him.
She does it. She's always the main thing, I just don't why is April saving the turtles?
I don't get it.
I get it. I'm all about make her empowered.
Make an empowered lady character, absolutely. But film
she shouldn't be saving
turtles.
the turtles.
Yeah,
even if they're not saving her, she shouldn't be saving them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
At least not every time. They've got to have their own victory.
So continued with the synopsis. Shredder and a Foot break into the turtle's lair. I forget how, but oh yeah, because they put a tracking device. Eric Sachs put a tracking device on
In his random business card
and
tracking
business
device
card
that he just has because he's always trying to track people that he
Yeah,
gives out cards.
he's a bit of a creeper that way.
Yeah, oh, it's so weird.
So yeah, they basically destroy the lair. They injure Splinter, who has a dope fight in that scene.
His fight, dude, is like the most solid fight in the whole movie.
Yeah, which is a little sad.
Yeah, but they have a confrontation where a bunch of foot soldiers run into their base, and Splinter is the first one that's like, oofs, and he like runs in there, and he's like gonna bust up some SWAT dudes.
Splinter is
epic.
dope.
He like Ip-Mans a bunch of dudes.
He does, and it's great.
He's using his tail, and it was really wicked.
Very good stuff.
And
they grab
fight in that same thing.
Sorry?
You get to see the turtles fight in that same sequence, but it's very like
it's a lot of up close stuff. Really,
it's very up close, and
there's not a lot of it.
He's like triple kick,
but
so you
again,
get to see them do like one move. They're not fight scenes. When they told us the raid, man,
they shouldn't have said that.
They really shouldn't have fucking said it.
Because you say the raid, that's a high bloody bar. That's a very high bar.
Those who didn't hear, the makers of the film before the movie came out, they kept saying, we're trying to channel the raid. Like, that's what we're inspired by on how to make these fight scenes.
Don't say that.
They've never seen the raid before.
Yeah.
Or at least, maybe what the problem was is they got sold on the same bullshit. Because it was always like, the creators, is it Eastman that does all this stuff, or is it Laird that goes to everything now?
Eastman goes. Eastman is he's still contributing. Laird doesn't really do much anymore with it.
Okay. So, yeah, Eastman, he's doing all these, Comic-Con panels, and of course I'm trying to find out anything I can about this Turtles movie before it's coming out. So I'm watching YouTube videos of Comic-Con panels and interviews with the director and all this different stuff. And they keep citing it over and over. They're like, we really, really like the raid, and we're trying to make it like that. And so, in my mind, I'm already creating this Ninja Turtle movie because they haven't shown the designs. They showed nothing
the whole time.
They've
shown nothing.
And I'm like, man, CGI versions of the Turtles, they're going to have realistic eyes, and, they'll be able to emote, but they'll still look like Ninja Turtles, but just not as cartoony, especially not like Turtles 3, where they look like Chuck E. Cheese characters.
We will get to that.
But I was just expecting Mutant Turtles the raid.
But that was a bad move for them because our minds are amazing. We imagine greatness. So when we hear that, in our heads are like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the best thing I'll ever see Turtles-wise.
Oh, man. And it was just not that, dude. And it's not even like, oh man, the fights are terrible. They weren't.
It wasn't what they said.
Nowhere close.
Yeah, they shouldn't have said that. They should not. Don't say the raid.
And they had a couple opportunities to make the fights really interesting.
Yeah.
And the one big one they had is, again, at the end, spoilers if you haven't seen it.
We're spoiling shit, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. But they walk into an area when they're trying to find the Shredder, and they're trying to find the elevator up to where he's gone to do the ending from Amazing Spider-Man or whatever, where they attach a bomb to a giant tower. But anyway, so he goes up to do that. They're looking for the elevator, and they first go into a room where there's 200 foot soldiers.
A ton of foot soldiers.
And granted, if it was the regular Ninja Turtles, I could imagine them being like, you know what, let's close this door and try another door, which is what they ultimately did. But these are turtles that can punch through tanks. I want to see them fight hordes of dudes to make it make sense that they need to be this powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And instead they don't. They just wasted that opportunity to show them fight. I just, the foot soldier fight that they do have before that on the mountain, because when they escape.
Yeah. That was okay. That wasn't bad.
It was terrible, Jeff.
I'm really giving it excuses.
Go back and watch it, dude.
I watched it yesterday. I'm giving it excuses. I promise you, I'm giving this film excuses.
The fight scenes are they're like old 90s action movie fight scenes where you only have to hit people one time.
And they're down.
and they're down, and you only hit two people at a time tops, or like they have one scene where Leonardo like moves around and kicks like three people, but it's
That's
the
why
worst.
they should
The
never
worst.
say the raid.
It's just don't make it ninjas. Don't make it ninjas.
Yeah. They did, though.
They should have just said Teenage Mutant Turtles
Or,
that fight people.
or the UK title, Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Yeah, even do that, dude.
Because
even do that,
they were
'cause that's
essentially
more what they were.
superheroes. They were heroes. They
Yeah,
weren't really
then
ninjas.
they don't need
No.
the ninja weapons because they're
not
not
at
really
all.
going to use them properly.
They're bulletproof.
Just make them punch the shit out of people. Make it a Battletoads movie. See, like if this was a Battletoads movie, those could have all worked as Battletoads.
Yes,
That's what I imagined the Battletoads to be like.
Actually, that makes a whole lot more sense at this point.
Yeah, Raph, Leo, Battletoads.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
But again, man, for what I wanted a Ninja Turtles movie to be like, source Ninja movies, not source the Avengers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
If this had been Ninja Assassin,
we keep saying this, dude.
but like make them all tiny Asian dude size, but give them the Weta technology still. Originally I was like, give them suits but CG heads. That's a lot harder to do.
Yeah.
Give them the CG bodies. That seemed to work out fine.
Yeah.
But just don't make them humongous. Like, really use it.
I don't really see the purpose behind them doing that. Apart from...
And they're bulletproof, right?
Yeah, they are.
So they can literally, like, absorb bullets into their shells and then flex so hard that it shoots the bullets back out, Jeff.
Yeah, it bounced it back out.
It didn't reflect the bullets.
No.
They caught them in their bodies, and then Raph flexed and shot the bullets back out.
That's what he does. That's what he did.
In the literal fuck
I don't know,
is
dude.
that? That is the Deadpool laser eyes moment of that movie for me.
Great reference.
It fucking killed me. It killed me, dude. When they showed it in the trailers, that is what I was upset about. And because that automatically I'm like, why the fuck are they even ninjas anymore?
Yeah.
If they're bulletproof
Yeah.
and they can punch through a car.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to fucking sneak anywhere.
Nope. Just run through the wall.
Yeah, they just...
You can do that. They're essentially walking juggernauts.
Just let them do it. Just let them do it. Why live in the shadows, dude? What's the military gonna do to them?
Nothing at this point.
They just be like, hey, they seem to be able to talk fine. Let's just use them. Now they're military.
When Eric Sachs actually got him, they got him fairly easily.
Yeah, but even that whole scene would have been changed if they had gone, why the fuck are we afraid of tranq darts? We're bulletproof. And they just punched the shit out of everybody and killed them right when they came in.
Also, that scene when they revived them in adrenaline, that was whatever.
Right. Yeah, how do you even, like, when you give them adrenaline, dude, and they've got almost all their blood gone to the point where they can't even move.
You think they would
get their heart pumping so they stayed alive, but they're definitely not going to start.
They're dead. They're essentially dead.
Plus, that much adrenaline. Why wouldn't they just start murdering?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they broke through the glass and then they fell a story down, and I'm like, it's a comical reaction, but clearly, yeah.
Tell me this, Jeffrey.
What's up?
With the origin of the turtles that they gave us, and the origin of Splinter that they gave us.
Yeah.
Why
the origin of how he taught them.
Right. Why does Splinter remember April O'Neil?
I have no idea.
Anything that happened in that lab from when he was a regular rat?
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
And how the fuck does he know anything about the Shredder? He knows everything about the Shredder. He explains it to them.
I don't know, dude.
He how did he know?
Because clearly, Royce, as a rat, he had his human-type memory.
But even if he did, why would he know that stuff about Eric Sachs or his secret Japanese origin that no one knows? Why does a rat in the sewer know that secret origin? And the turtles don't know because he's explaining it to them for the first time. Nobody knows but fucking Splinter somehow. And they never explain it.
Because it's dumb.
He's just like, he's the fucking bad guy. We got it. He's
because he has to be the rival to Shredder. They know that much. The writers clearly knew that much.
But it was like they literally just knew
shoehorned
the
it, of course,
of the characters, their basic relation to each other, and researched nothing else, and was like, just put it together till it moves and it's on screen.
You know what's weird about this? It's almost like when they made it, they didn't really give a shit about everybody else who knew of the Turtles already.
No, I think they assumed everyone knew about the Turtles already, so it didn't matter if they explained anything.
But they didn't really explain it. It's like, but the story that they used was almost stupid.
It wasn't almost. It was
very stupid.
Completely stupid. It's just the failure to see how terrible the story was coming out early enough in the process is what
ruined the entire thing. Well, yeah, it ruins it.
And now that's what makes me wonder the most. If they had given us what their original idea was, would the story have been
as garbage?
So like janky and retarded and not connected? If they had just kept it whatever they wanted to be, where, you know,
Eric Sachs is actually Shredder.
Eric Sachs is the Shredder. They're not teenagers anymore.
They just
all of that stuff.
Mutant Turtles.
Would it have been connected better, or was it literally all the backtracking that killed the story of this movie?
That's the thing. We'll never know that thing. We'll never know.
I just wish there was a way to watch the original cut of this. It's got to exist somewhere, and I don't understand why they don't release those things for people to see.
Because
they still own the rights to everything. Just show it to them.
I don't know, man. They're never gonna do that. You know, they'll never do that.
Director's cut of that movie, dude. I want it. Maybe it won't fix the stuff that I absolutely died from, like the bulletproof and the super strong thing, and the lack of ninja in Ninja Turtles. But I just want to see if it would have made the story, like, at least you could go, yeah, they're not the Turtles I remember, but at least the story wasn't shit.
At least it wasn't entirely garbage.
So anyway, we were going to have talking points, so let's get to those.
Well, we clearly talked about what we hated.
We definitely talked about what we hated. Let's highlight some things that we enjoyed.
In the story? Because we're still in story.
Overall, just whatever you liked about it.
I like the designs of the Turtles. They grew on me.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people hated it at first. Luckily, I was not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
They represented their characters, especially once we got to see them moving.
Right.
I like the Turtles. I like the design of Shredder, even though he was like Super Shredder essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I can think of right now. I want more of the Turtles.
Right. I liked elements of the designs of the Turtles.
Yeah. I mean, they have a lot of shit on them. That's definitely an issue, I think.
They do have a random amount of...
They've got a lot of stuff on them.
To me, it's not even the amount of stuff. It's the
things
kind
that they
of
have,
stuff.
the content,
like,
yeah.
The Styx armor and stuff. Like, some of it I get and some of it I don't. Like,
yeah.
I understand the idea of them trying to make themselves armor, but I mostly only understand that if it had already been established that
they weren't bulletproof.
That they weren't bulletproof and that they had been doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
If they'd never been on the surface, why do they need armor? They would just be wearing like normal clothes and shit.
You'd think.
Like they'd find like XXX 17
because those sizes exist.
Yeah, dude. And they'd just get that and they'd walk around and watch TV and shit and they'd do ninja shit when they felt like it. But what purpose do they have if Splinter's not like, I'm training you to go up and kick the shit out of people and I want you to be able to protect yourself and fight bad burglars in the streets or something. I don't know like what his intentions were if he's like, don't ever go up there. They will kill you.
Like, will they though?
Oh, yeah, they are not ready for that shit up there. But,
They are
here's some
bulletproof,
armor.
so they
Here's
can
some
get
armor and
hurt
some swords.
emotionally. They can get hurt emotionally.
Right.
Here is armor to protect you. Protect you from nothing because you are bulletproof. Which,
I mean,
wouldn't they have known
that? Wouldn't they have known that?
That they are bulletproof?
While learning all this martial arts with sharp things that can pierce your body, when they get hit with it and go, oh shit, we didn't get cut.
We better cover ourselves up.
We didn't get cut by that when we got hit.
That sword
I totally tried to stab you with a sai, and it
kind of
bit.
just... Yeah, what happened? I tried to cut you with the sword, and the sword snapped.
Oh, turns out we can't die from being pierced by things. We need to be blown up or...
Oh, cowabunga.
Yeah, cowabunga, dude. How would they not have known?
I don't know. Movie.
I
wonder, right? When they write a film like this...
Yeah.
Do they have discussions like we're having now where they'll just talk about it and destroy it?
Not. You know what I think happens, dude? I think that they put together a pitch and they go, we want it to be like the Raid. We want them to be like ninjas and like killing people and stuff. And then they bring it in, and then Nickelodeon and Paramount go, the Avengers are real big right now. Make them like the Avengers, man.
Do you think Nickelodeon and Paramount said that?
I think Paramount did. And I think Nickelodeon went, do whatever you want, our show's a hit.
But that's crazy because I'm like, our show's a hit, here are the reasons why. Would you not look at those things and go, hey,
I think that
they're essentially what the original was like. Let's just do a realistic version of the cartoon.
I think that they probably influenced the fact that they came back down and were Teenage Mutant before Ninja Turtles, and the fact
Which was
that they
an afterthought, right? You reckon it was an afterthought?
I think that was definitely afterthought, and it was definitely with Nickelodeon being like, "Hey, we're actually paying attention to what people are saying."
Yeah, it's like, guys, we're our cartoon is currently successful.
Right. I think the parts that worked for the Ninja Turtles are Nickelodeon's influence.
I think that's the case.
And I think Paramount, they used to have Spider-Man, so I think that they go. Make them like the Avengers, man. Make a superhero team. You want to compete with superheroes, and they force this kind of shit to happen. And it's all the cooks in the kitchen equal terrible turtle soup.
Terrible turtle soup.
And it just killed me a little bit on the inside. Now, that's not to say that I didn't enjoy watching the movie, because I definitely did. But all of the stuff I enjoyed was the turtles interacting with each other.
Yep, we needed more of that.
That is the only, because I think that they got close enough to what I think all the personalities should be.
Yeah,
and that is the part that makes the turtles in my brain. So it was even with all the shit like shoveled and like piled around it. The little segments of them being the turtles that I like with each other, that's what saved the movie enough for me to own it on Blu-ray. Enough
to enjoy it, really.
Right.
Because if those elements weren't there, this movie would just be garbage.
If they had fucked up the personalities of the turtles, then it would have killed anything that was left for me to stay in that theater.
Absolutely.
Because they got those parts close enough. Now, granted, some of that was with super shitty exposition.
Yeah.
Like them getting... Leo and Raph getting in a fight on the roof, and him saying, "Who made you the leader?" And then Leo saying, "You know who?" And then Raph being like, and then Mike being like, "Oh man, this is not the first time we've had this argument in the last half hour," or something like that. It implies this argument's happened a whole bunch of times. And
it's a constant.
Yeah, it's a constant that they do this, but they give you no context for why or examples of why this kind of things happen. It's never been a case of, like, you never see Splinter go, "Yeah, I take Leonardo's side, he should be the leader." You never see it. They just go, the cartoon people know, just mention it. And that
will appease them.
That is so lazy.
Yeah.
It's just shitty storytelling, in my opinion. But yeah, the personalities of their interactions, they got them right. It just was with no like better context because they had to shovel all this other bullshit story about April's connection to them and whatnot into it. But them beatboxing in an elevator for a minute, great, fantastic. And I wish that they had put the full version of that scene because it was the best scene in the whole movie.
It was great.
There was a much longer cut of that with them like dancing and stuff that got cut out. But I feel like they should have kept it. It was the best part because you get to go, yeah, that's what I wanted from a new version of the Turtles because you couldn't have seen that work in the old one. Their mouths wouldn't have moved together.
Yeah, no way.
This is why make it now. And then the rest of the movie, what the fuck? What happened?
I don't know.
Let's make them fucking slide on their backs down a mountain from a castle that white guy not Shredder lives in, and they can, punch through a truck and smash a Hummer with their back. Mm-hmm. We had this scene left over from one of our drafts of Transformers. Let's just put it in this shit. Make the Turtles do it. It sounds awesome. I'm just heartbroken, man. Anyway, if we're talking about things we like.
No, I can see the passion's present, and it's good. It's good. Things we liked.
Pretty much just their relation to each other.
Yep. I think they got that done well enough.
I think that Leo's look in his face is close enough to what I wanted the Turtles to look like that yes. I really like his design.
Yes.
And if the other Turtles had looked closer to him in the face...
You didn't like the way they looked? How they're very individual?
I like that they look distinctive, but I do not like what they chose as distinctive.
Yeah.
Raphael looks like a jack-o'-lantern. Donatello looks kind of like Yoshi or some shit like that.
Actually, dude, if you look at Donatello, you add big ears, he's Jar Jar.
He definitely is closer to Jar Jar, but it's because they gave him that beak. He's got like a beak-like snout, and his proportion of where his nostrils are, because it's not consistent. That's the part that's also weird. I get like they're mutated, so they shouldn't all necessarily come out exactly the same. Plus, I guess there's no indication that they were related, but they were the same kind of turtle, so some consistency would have been cool.
Would have.
Some sort of explanation on why they came out humanoid. Like, I understand that they were like, humanoid they'll emote better.
Yeah.
I get that. But there's no explanation on why it's humanoid.
No. Or, like, if it's, say, like, I understand that, it mutates things, but right. I wonder why it all, like, even in most films, why it always tends to be like, oh, it's a humanoid thing. Even just mention why.
Yeah, I don't like it with this particular explanation would have been as easy as being like the serum we created had a human DNA in it because it was like for like a super soldier program, yep. But it landed on these rodents and we hadn't tested it. Boom, giant turtles. Giant turtle rodents. Right, that look slightly humanoid. Or, if they had kept closer to the original story, had Splinter have been human at one point, then the turtles could have also turned the same way just by not necessarily interacting with a human, but interacting with Amato Yushi, because he was holding the turtles when it got hit or whatever. So it could have been some of his DNA mixing in, and that's why they're kind of like they could have been smaller in stature. You could have made them more influenced by Asian culture. Instead of just like, let's all put on some like loinclothy type things because we don't want to show our turtle crotches and call it good. We have swords, so Asian culture.
Hey, this is Asian.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, some explanation would have been interesting of when they were younger. If you're going to show them while they're younger, show how they developed their particular accents. Like maybe Michelangelo loves Beach Boys movies or something that he finds, and that's why he's a surfer dude. And that's why he gets the California accent. He's never interacted with any other humans. He learns how he wanted to talk.
Have they ever really explained that before?
Not that I'm aware.
In any of the Turtles things?
Mm-mm. But you could have made Raph into like mafioso movies, and that's why he's very New Yorker and like with the toothpicks and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Donnie likes D&D and nerdy stuff. He just kind of goes that route. It could have been any explanation. It just it was a whole lot of just like tell them with exposition what stuff is and any other indicators we need, just attach it to their costume. We don't have to explain that Donatello does machines if he's covered in machines.
Mm.
You know, Leonardo's the leader, so cover him in football stuff. It makes you think of team sports. Mikey's the surfer dude. Put puka shells on him. You know, he was originally supposedly supposed to have like a big dookie rope. Did I talk about that last time?
No.
He was supposed to have like a big thick gold chain on, but they thought it was like people complained that the idea made him look like too much like a black stereotype, so they gave him puka shells.
Why would they have given him that instead? The rope.
I don't have it because he's supposed to also be influenced by hip hop culture. That's why he tags and stuff. I don't know. It's so random, dude. Anyway, so the movie was the movie. Let's talk about the casting choices. I think that as far as the Turtles themselves, they got the casting pretty good, except for they should have let the dude who played Leo
actually voice him,
keep his voice, because I've seen that dude in other stuff.
Yeah,
he sounds like I imagine Leonardo sounded.
That's exactly it. That's why I was like, that last minute, we have to get somebody else for the voice was probably.
And why
like,
Johnny Knoxville?
I don't know, man.
They're like, he should sound like a slightly southern accented smoker in his 40s. Yeah. Instead of like a young all-American football player dude.
Which is what he sounds like.
Yeah, which is what the actual
who sounds like a leader. Like what you would imagine what Leo would sound like.
Right. Instead of now he sounds like the leader of a group of jackasses.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the other Turtles, I think they all sounded pretty good. I think they were good choices. I'm also curious what the original intent was with Danny Woodburn as Splinter, if he was also going to voice it, or if they always knew they were going to change his voice. But I thought Tony Shalhoub sounded fine.
Yeah, he sounded fine.
He sounded better than I imagined Danny Woodburn would have sounded.
Yes, I know, it sucks.
Yeah.
No offense to Danny Woodburn.
His voice is too high for what I imagined.
Unless they would have augmented it as well, made it sound
then,
deeper.
Maybe it would have been fine. Maybe it would have been fine then. Yeah. I imagined his normal voice, and I'm like, no, that would have been weird. He literally would have sounded
bizarre.
Weird, but it would have sounded more like a rodent.
Yeah, I guess.
But like a cartoon rodent.
Yeah, you know? I don't know. It'd be comical.
Right. It would have been. You wouldn't be able to take him seriously if he's like, yeah, never go up to the surface. That is terrible, Danny Woodburn, but never go up to the surface, Turtles.
You get the point, though.
Yeah, I think it would have been silly.
Yeah.
And I think that the main two that people are going to be wondering our opinions on are Eric Sachs as the original Shredder and April O'Neil's Megan Fox.
Eric Sachs, he's fine. That guy's a good actor.
But do you think if he was playing Shredder proper, that you would have been more upset by his portrayal?
I don't know. That's the thing, because we didn't get...
Because some of those scenes, not every scene with him...
I know, clearly. I don't know, dude. Like, he was basically playing the role that was written on the page.
Yeah. But do you think you would have been okay with him as Shredder proper, based on what you saw?
Yeah.
If he was just like, I was trained by a dude, and now I wear this big mech suit.
Sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think if they had started with the giant Japanese dude with the weird scars on his face...
And then he took over...
But, at the same time, I'm like, make a Japanese character And if they would have merged the two and made a Japanese businessman who owns a company, who happens to have a scar on his face, but he's not completely tore up. He's got a scar on his face, but he's a prominent business figure.
Yeah.
But to basically make instead of the weird plot of him like making like a bomb that kills everybody, but he's got a cure for it.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, make it so he's a businessman who makes like security systems and has a security firm or something.
Yep.
But at night he has this group that he basically pays to go out and like fuck shit up and ruin businesses and stuff so that he can sell people his protection.
Yeah. See that automatically right there. That is a more cohesive story.
Yeah. And it makes the foot soldiers make sense.
Yep. Gives them a purpose.
And it gives him the reason to have the foot soldiers and have some like business alternative if you wanted to make him this businessman for some reason.
But, you know.
But there's no reason to do that if he's not connected to the Turtles plot, which I definitely would not want him to be. But if you were gonna go the route of the IDW current run, where they're like reincarnated version in spirit of these warriors that were connected in the past.
I don't know, Royce. People might look at that and go, "Ugh, how realistic is that?"
What do they need it? I don't know, man. For people who haven't read it, dude, though, if you haven't read it and you're a Turtles fan,
read it.
Read History of the Foot Clan.
It's fucking awesome.
From IDW. It is the turtles that you would want these turtles to be, because they're cut still or whatever, but they're small and they wear like their bandanas the same, but they're kind of tattered. They've got bandages around them instead of just the pads. They look like little ninjas. And it's taken seriously, but it has the lore that you're familiar with. So you'll see some version of Krang. You'll see Shredder being a ninja and having a team of ninjas that they fight. Casey Jones and April, they're all there, and they're all like
it's well done. If they were gonna do a movie of this, yes.
Yeah, if the movie had been an adaptation of History of the Foot Clan,
I swear that
or even City Fall.
Yeah, City Fall.
I would have been in love, dude. I would have been in love with it. But April Megan Fox is April. What do you think?
It didn't bother me as much as it bothered others. I mean, sure, she's clearly not the first choice that would pop into mind, but she didn't really ruin the movie. Right. I don't feel anyways. I know there's still a lot of hate on her. People would just want to hate in general. She didn't do anything to make me go, ugh. She basically acted the role that was written on the page. It's not really her fault that she was the main character.
Yeah, I basically agree with that. I think the problem with April in the movie is the writing of the movie. Yeah. Because it's so bizarre to me that the whole time that she keeps like explaining to people what's going on with the turtles, and she's like, they're giant turtles and they're mutants and they do karate and they live in the sewer. They're named after Renaissance painters or whatever. Yeah. She's the only one that doesn't realize how retarded it sounds. Yep. So everyone else is reacting and she's not. Wouldn't it have been way better if she also realized it sounded ridiculous? It would have made her character seem so much less retarded. Mm-hmm. If she's like, look guys, I know this sounds mental, but I literally saw mutant giant turtles. If someone would just come with me and see
that I'm not crazy.
Yeah, we can figure out a way to film this because I've seen them on multiple occasions now. Yeah. They never.
I promise they're real.
She gets fired in the movie.
Yep.
And at the end of the movie, I'm pretty sure she's got her job back and she's reporting. Yep. But there's no indication of why. Yeah, I don't know. Because she didn't report on the turtles like she was originally gonna. The original version, she says that the turtles are out there. And because people saw them, I think, at the end. But now they went back and changed that, and there's no reason why she would have her job back. She didn't deliver. Nope. But yeah, if you were gonna cast it though, for your perfect casting for April,
I wish you told me earlier. I would have actually thought about it. I don't know. I don't really follow a lot of like actresses and whatnot.
You know, if the movie had not been shitty, I think a good cat, like if they had made the City Fall version of the movie,
Yeah,
I think a good April would have been Emma Stone.
I was gonna say her. I was gonna say, maybe Emma Stone, but she was already like Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man during this.
Right.
I don't know if she'd want to tackle another one like that.
But if it was gonna be the good version, where they do like the City Fall,
if we're doing
version,
we'll do hypotheticals later, dude.
yeah, but I'm saying our perfect casting.
Yeah,
I think that for that version, she would have been a good choice for April. She still looks young enough, and she could banter back with the Turtles in a way that I think that would make her
even with the current movie Turtles.
Even with them, she would have been better. But if it was still her connected to the plot line and stuff, I would have been. I'd rather
it be.
Yeah, I'd rather make it Fox because then make it the shittiest you can so that when they do it again, they'll be like, don't make it like that one. Now we have to do it good. That just means when this version of the franchise dies off
and it gets rebooted, it's not going to be Megan Fox. It gets
rebooted and we're having our 45th birthday party. I'm going to go see that movie, and I'm going to be like, finally, with my kids, they get to see the proper version of the Ninja Turtles.
Hopefully, it's the proper one.
I'm blaming that on why this movie sucked, because I haven't had kids yet, and I wouldn't want to take my kids to this version.
No.
So I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna have kids later, and then by the time they're rebooting it, those kids will get to enjoy that Ninja Turtles is the one they grew up. It's got to be better than this.
You're thinking far ahead, but good job. Hopefully,
that's my silver lining, dude. That's my silver lining.
I like this optimism. It's great.
Because you know what? It could have been the same deal with Spider-Man. I'm like, hey, they made it, and it didn't work out with the Oscorp stuff. Now I get to wait a little bit longer. This is going to be my new Spider-Man going into the future. This is the good one for a while, because this one's going to last. If it's the one they're using, he's going to be around for a while.
Yeah, they can't fuck this one up. Not again.
So this is Spidey going into the future to hang out with these Ninja Turtles for a while. Okay, now, if you were going to cast Shredder.
A proper Japanese Shredder.
Yeah.
I don't really know a lot of Japanese actors.
My go-to, and has been the go-to since I saw him in the
Last Samurai?
In my favorite movie, Last Samurai, Ken Watanabe, dude, needs to be the Shredder. I think it's perfectly laid out in that movie. Ken Watanabe, Shredder, and Tetsu is the other dude from Last Samurai, the one that was Silver Samurai and Wolverine.
Yep, you'd make him who?
Make him Tetsu.
Yeah, that's true.
And he can go out and actually fight, and he'll be like the big badass fight before he fights the Shredder. And Shredder can just be like slow and more daunting. His moves are more powerful. He doesn't have to be as quick.
That's the thing. He doesn't like Shredder has never been like the quick ninja. He's just the more like when he strikes you, there's so much power in that, and it basically topples you over essentially.
Yeah, he should be because of what he looks like, more of a samurai than a ninja.
Yeah,
so
really.
He's just like pulverizing dudes with hard strikes, I want Ken Watanabe. It would have been so good, dude. So good.
The movie in your head sounds so much better than what we got.
I promise it is. And get like the nigga that played like the Keymaker. Get him to be Splinter.
Oh, yeah, dude, yes! Yes, there's the Keymaker.
Get him to do it.
Yeah, he could do it. Oh, he's great, actually.
I think, the Turtles are fine. If they would have wanted to keep those guys to do the basic mocap or whatever.
Yeah, just make them small.
Yeah, and then get like the dudes get the actual choreo guys that did the raid to come do Turtles.
Oh, dude, like they're doing with Star Wars, supposedly.
Yeah, just get them to come do it. Why not? Why not do that?
Dude, if they they did the choreo, they did the basic suit acting.
Yep.
The mocap for the fighting. Oh yeah, that's what. That would have been great.
Got Emma Stone as April, playing a bit older. She works at the news place.
Don't have Vernon in it because he was...
fuck off with Vernon.
Yeah, I don't get why he was included. I understand he was in the cartoon briefly.
Because they were trying to make it connected to the cartoon universe. That's why we got Turtle Man and Rocket skateboards.
But he wasn't even a main character in the cartoon.
He wasn't. But she needed to see, because Sam Witwicky has a girl sidekick. So since Megan Fox was the Sam Witwicky, she needed a guy sidekick, and it wasn't going to be Casey Jones this time, so they made it Vern. But whatever, man. Whatever.
They say he's in a sequel.
Yeah, supposedly he's supposed to be in it, but
as in Vern is still going to be in a sequel.
Of course. Why wouldn't he be? She's still going to be a newscaster, so she needs a cameraman. But also, Casey Jones is supposed to be in the sequel. But yeah, make the movie that we just cast with Keymaker, Splinter,
Keymaker, Splinter. I think that's perfect.
Ken Watanabe, Shredder, the other.
Who would you cast as Casey?
Let Evans do it, man.
Huh?
Let Chris Evans do it.
He's Captain America, though.
But he's already been Casey Jones.
Yeah, he has. He was great as it, too.
Yeah. Or if who else? But if not him, because definitely he's busy, who else would we cast as Casey Jones?
Someone younger, someone to match what's her face?
Age-wise?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of who I would put in that.
Because he has to be, like, if we're thinking the IDW Casey Jones,
right?
Who can fit that specific Casey Jones?
You know who I think could do an okay job at it, maybe?
Who?
Is the Roy Harper dude from Arrow.
Yeah. But if he wasn't Roy Harper Arrow already.
Yeah, he could still do it. People from TV movies.
That's true.
I think he could do it okay, and I also think the dude that they got to play the other Amel kid, the one that plays Fire.
Oh yeah, actually that guy. That guy looks more, I would say.
I think because he's got darker hair and stuff.
Yeah, it would work more. He looks taller as well and whatnot.
I think he could do it.
Yeah, that works.
Is it Robbie Amell?
I think it's Robbie, yeah.
There
you go. Studios, listen to this episode. Take notes.
Yeah, just take what we talked about just now and make that instead of a sequel. Yeah. Or you know what? In the sequel of this movie,
consider all these things.
When you make Bebop and Rocksteady,
please don't do it like the fucking current cartoon Bebop Rocksteady, though.
Yeah, don't do that. But make part of the plot that because you made new mutant guys, that they have a serum or something that they inject the turtles with that make them smaller and weaker.
Yeah,
so that they have to learn how to fight in the new size, and now they're the ones that are smaller, and the Bebop and Rocksteady are the Hulk ones. Do that. Yeah. At least do that.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for that. Okay, so I guess that's our sequel hope.
That's our sequel hope.
But what do we actually predict will happen in the sequel?
Predict will happen in the sequel. Story will still be shit.
Yeah, probably. But this time they'll go into it.
I hope, but I really do hope that they do good in the sequel. That they listen to what people or what the people working on the cartoons and the books would actually suggest.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just like, oh yeah, this sounds like a good idea. Don't do that, especially if you don't know what you're talking about. Because you know that's what's going to happen. You know that's what probably happened in this first film anyways.
I'm sure of it.
Or it's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. It's like, sir, that's taken from this film and that other film. And has nothing to do with Turtles at all. It's like, I'm your boss. Shut up. Yeah, make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but hopefully not.
Prediction-wise, Vern's going to annoy me. April's still gonna be the main character.
Okay.
I don't even know. Prediction-wise, I don't know. I just want it to be good, better.
I think they're from what they've said, the plan is to bring in Bebop and Rocksteady and to bring in Casey Jones.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan already.
Which I would normally like, but I just don't know how they're going to fit in with
Everything.
this particular story. Now, okay, Shredder apparently has to live. And he had some of the ooze in his hand when they like close up on his hand when he was in the crater or whatever.
Yes.
So he did save some of the ooze.
Yes.
I'm assuming that's going to be how he makes Bebop and Rocksteady, and he's going to be the one that makes them.
Yep.
But I'm hoping that now that they've locked down what the story is for the first movie, even though it was a bunch of reshoots and stuff, now that they know the finished product and the Turtles are teenagers, they've fought the Shredder already, this is the status quo, we don't have to go back and backtrack anything, that now we'll get a cohesive story without a bunch of, like, random, like, all the Shredder reshoot scenes are in one room. He never leaves that room when he's not in the suit. So everything else that the Shredder does...
Royce, you do realize that Shredder is actually a genie and that room was a lamp.
Oh man, wow, what a plot twist that would be.
Yeah, that's
but now that they know it, maybe they can have some scenes with the unmasked Shredder in it where it's kind of it's got more scale, so you'll see more foot soldiers around him and he can actually be the leader of the Foot Clan.
I do hope that they're actually, that they fight like ninjas.
Now, part of those reshoots, they showed them in ninja suits, and those are supposed to be the foot soldiers. Even though they never show them actually fight other than, shooting guns at stuff and getting punched.
Because, Royce, did you not know that shooting guns is a form of fighting?
Yeah, it's the best form. I'm hoping that now that they've done one, that the second one can actually be better, because all they have to do is write a story now. Now they don't have to write two stories and try to mash them together.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And they'll have time to figure it out and take in people's opinions, hopefully, and say, come on, studio, you saw how much money it made. It's a miracle that it did. Now, if we make the second one good, it can make more. Yeah.
And almost guarantee... that fans would actually praise it.
The only thing that sucks, dude, is because it does seems like a lose-lose situation if the movie fails.
Why do you say that?
Because there's in my perfect scenario, everybody wants to go, oh man, I hope it sucks. Because with the Marvel movies, they go, oh, I hope it sucks, because then Marvel could get the rights back. There is not that for
exactly.
This. So if the Turtles movie sucks,
it's just gonna be shit.
Yeah, it just sucks, and then they go, oh well, I guess people didn't like it because they don't like the Turtles.
Exactly. They'll blame it the fact that it's the Turtles.
Yeah,
no, but you didn't give us the Turtles.
Right. They'll blame it on the franchise and not the shit they put out. Mm-hmm. And so it just sucks for everybody for a while. It's like,
Royce, clearly it's not our fault because we're geniuses. So clearly they don't like the Turtles. Let's just make a Hot Wheels. Like a Hot Wheels movie.
Did they do that yet?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if that's something that's in the works, though.
It'd just be like Speed Racer.
But Hot Wheels.
I mean, but that movie was basically a Hot Wheels movie with the tracks and all the colors and shit.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. But, still, the racing scenes were the parts of that movie that I didn't hate all the way. I know you like that movie.
I do like that movie.
A lot of people like that movie.
I know.
But I fucking hated that movie.
We're not talking about that movie today, though.
Oh, but
maybe we could do another bonus episode next time talking about random films.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. But I think that for the most part, does it. Now, let's, real quickly, where do you rank this in the existing live-action Turtles movies? What's your list?
The first one is
from
the
best.
Worst to what was that?
From worst one to best one.
To best one. Okay, worst one is 3.
Okay.
That I tried watching again recently, and it really is hard. It's really hard, dude.
Yep.
When the main characters, you just hate the way everything. When you just hate everything of the main characters.
Yeah.
The way they look, the way their mouths just randomly move.
Yeah.
The story wasn't that great. It was dumb. Like, there were so many scenes where I'm like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
They brought back Casey, which was cool, but again, what was the point? It felt, it just felt, it was just...
They brought back Casey to hang out with none of the turtles.
To hang out with Japanese dudes.
Yeah, to hang out with 4 random Japanese
But then they
dudes.
showed supposedly Casey's ancestor or some shit.
Well, they never say. You just have to assume it.
It's best to assume because it's the same actor.
Right?
Fucking what?
I guess they're related? What is the point of this?
Fucking what? Really? Yeah, anyway, that film's garbage. I don't know, like, as many flaws as this one has, the new one,
Does that go next?
Maybe it's on par with part 2.
On par with 2?
Yeah, for me anyways, because like all round entertainment wise, I was very entertained by this new one.
Right.
Even, I can pick a lot of things wrong with it. I was still...
If you just cut the first 20 minutes off the movie...
Oh, absolutely. That's usually how when I rewatch it, that's how I start it.
I start
at
at
20
when
minutes
she runs
in.
into
Absolutely.
the subway.
Absolutely. I start at like 16 minutes in.
Yeah,
I would say the new one might be, if not on par, then a little bit lower than part 2.
Okay.
But part 1 is still the best. Part 1 is still my favorite.
Yeah.
Like, I could watch that again and be like, yeah, it was fucking dark. It was gritty, but it had its humor. It had its like moments where I'm like the scenes when they were like in the farm.
Right.
We had none of that.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, dude. If they had made that movie, but the turtles
with
were
that technology,
CG,
oh goodness gracious,
it would have been so much fucking better.
Oh, so much. Oh, and plus, like part 1's April, my favorite April.
She was definitely the best April.
She was like that's something that Megan Fox can never do.
Yep. They could have made April young so that she was like a teenager, like the Nickelodeon cartoon.
Yep.
Make that chick April's mom.
Oh, dude.
Make Elias Koteas her dad.
Oh, dude.
He could have been.
And that's a throwback to the original films, even though you're not saying, "Oh, that's April and that's Casey." Don't fucking say that. Just
don't say that. Just
don't say
that's. Yeah, that's her. That's Mrs. O'Neill and her dad, Professor O'Neill or whatever. And he could have even been the professor from the show.
I would have loved that shit, dude. What the fuck? That's awesome. Why isn't that a thing? They're still acting. I'm telling you, man, they're still acting.
If they hire me to run this movie, I promise I'll make it happen.
Tough.
Whoever needs to hear this podcast to make it so that I am producing that movie, do it, and I'll make it happen, guys.
We're just consulting, because producing means you have to, organize all the money. And
we should start a hashtag. Let Foray fix Ninja Turtles.
Foray fix Turtles.
Oh yeah, I want it.
No one will get it. But yeah, that's my order for the films. How about yours?
Come on, dude. Did you see when Comfort and Adam posted the tweet about how they think I'm the real life Michelangelo?
I must have missed it. Was it on Facebook? Because I'm not on.
Yeah. It was on Twitter. It gave me so much joy, man. Nothing has made me happier than an unprompted someone thinks I'm the real Michelangelo.
Perfect.
My list is the same.
Okay.
I think that this rebooted Turtles is about the same quality as Turtles 2, but I think Turtles 2 has more watchability because of the nostalgia.
Yeah, it's that, like, if I didn't watch it when I was a kid and loved it as a kid, I would.
And honestly, the fighting is better in Turtles 2.
Oh yeah, even though they didn't use weapons.
Yeah, but they still used actual martial arts.
Exactly. But it doesn't. Yeah, it had its flaws also.
It definitely did. The Vanilla Ice.
That wasn't needed. Vanilla
was unnecessary, and I was really expecting some more cameos in the reboot. I
Yeah, I'm
thought for
surprised they
sure
didn't
that there
get.
would be some sort of cameos, but nothing.
Oh, dude. Just them as the mom and dad. What the fuck? That's awesome. That's so brilliant.
Yeah,
Did you just think of that now, or have you been thinking this
No, I
all
just thought
along?
about it,
See,
man.
that's a genius random thought right there.
I'm telling you, man, just let me cast the movie, let me set up the plot and everything. We'll be good to go, dude. I got it. I got it set. I've wanted this Turtles movie.
I know that's
my
the thing.
brain
Like you
my
want it.
whole
Like
life.
if there's many things that you want in life, this is definitely one of those things.
Like everybody knows me that I'm into the Spider-Man
Spider-Man,
stuff.
yeah,
I have
that's-
lots of Spider-Man stuff, but what you don't understand is
No, Royce's love. If you
Turtles
Royce's
goes
love for
deeper
Turtles
than that, man. Turtles is
is-
since kindergarten. I remember loving the Turtles. It's what got me to start drawing. Is the first things that I drew ever. The first pictures my mom has of me drawing stuff is Ninja Turtles. So it's a big deal for me, and I've wanted it forever. Trust me, I would kill through that movie, dude. People would love me. I'd be praised for fixing whatever the fuck they just made. But yeah, that's what I want. And
is there anything else?
I think that covers it, man. You
cover
guys got our opinion on it, what we predict, and our amazing, perfect version of what the movie would be.
It would be the Chip and Chap Turtles
the
movie.
Chippers. I'd be the Chippers chap watching that
Yeah,
shit.
he would be. He'd be like
Oh,
with
man.
his bag of popcorn and stuff. Just,
Oh
just
gosh.
a bag, not a
Let's make it happen, guys. Let Fure fix Turtles.
for Fix Turtles. Ah,
All right, see you on the next one,
yeah.
guys.
Yep.
Stay chipper.